How you like them apples? Big Apple, New York City. La Casa Grande in the Bronx. La Casa Grande. Go check them out. La Casa Grande in the Bronx. And I will absolutely make my way up there sometime. I do get up to New York occasionally. I haven't been for probably, it's been a couple years. I used to go up there quite regularly, ride my bike up sometimes, and probably won't do that again, but I'm going to get up there yet, watch and see. I'm going to make it up there, and I'm going to stop in La Casa Grande and thank these guys in person. Some good Gorilla brothers and family up there that sent me these cigars, and they've just been awesome cigars. I love them. They're great. Gorilla with a cause. La Casa Grande in the Bronx, New York. Need to check them out. If you're a cigar aficionado or you enjoy a good cigar now and again, La Casa Grande in the Bronx, New York City. And I can see my battery light is flashing. All right, so here we go. Got battery power now, all plugged in. Good to go. Tell you what, I can't say how much, I can't overemphasize how much I have enjoyed these cigars that those good brothers sent me, man. I cannot, it's no exaggeration. It's awesome. All right, anyway. Seems a lot of people have been asking about this, in my opinion, what I think or my view. So let's get right into it. We're talking about naturals, natties, and what training program or approach would I recommend for a natty. And there's so much sidebar stuff I could get into talking about this. The first thing you have to understand, and it doesn't matter how much test you have, and if it's your own test or if you're enhanced or whatever, okay? But we're going to talk about natties, but let's just get this cleared up. You can train as much as you possess the ability to recover. You can train as much as you can recover. If you can't recover, then you're just beating the brakes off of it. You can't, metal, man. You can't. You can go as hard as that from what you can recover. So, if you've been lifting a while, and not everybody has, I know that. I've had people ask me about this that haven't been lifting very long yet at all, and they have all this excessive amount of information at their disposal now on the internet. And there's people suggesting full body routines several times a week, a couple times a week, once a week, splitting the body, push, pull, and all this other stuff. And I kind of do a bro split, push, pull type. What I do is actually, I never would call it bro split. I think it's retarded. But that's just a name that people have tacked onto this. A lot of stuff that actual successful bodybuilders have done for decades. But when I stop to think about it, what I do is actually more of a push-pull type of thing. We'll get into that later. Let's go back to when I was a natty, when I was natural. I don't even like natty. I think that sounds retarded. It's queer. And don't give me hate mail. I mean queer as in strange, unusual. It's a word. When I was a natural, which was, more than half of the time I've been on YouTube. More than half of the time you've seen me on YouTube on video. More than half. I've been on nothing at all. More than half. So, contrary to what the robusters want to think. The reason I think that, I'm going to get into this just really quickly, and then we're going to get into the topic at hand. And I'm going to lighten this up because the sun's fading. Sun's fading on us. And the thing is, what they do is another good brother out in California, his mom came up with this as a way of explaining it, means of explaining what they do. And what they do is they diminish to equalize. That's what they do. That's their approach. Diminish to equalize. So rather than these haters, and they are haters because clearly, if they didn't admire something or some aspect or facet of whatever it is they're critiquing in you or in another person, they wouldn't even look twice at it. They wouldn't even cast a second glance your way. It wouldn't even be an issue or a thing of note of conversation. So they have to come up with a reason why you've been able to surpass what they've been able to achieve. They can't get to where you are. Why? So what they do is, instead of stepping their own game up, or instead of taking lessons and looking at people who've been doing it longer and have been there and already done that and did it well and succeeded and ascended to wherever they're trying to get to, right? Rather than look at that, take heed by it, put that into practice, and maybe even improve upon it, and in the end, maybe even surpass where that guy got to, right? Maybe even do it better than he did it. Instead of having that approach, stepping their own game up and uplifting themselves, what they want to do rather is to stay where they are, and they want to drag you down to their level. So they diminish to equalize. They want to diminish something about what you've achieved or done or how you did it or must have done it. They don't know, right? Even if you tell them, then you must be lying. They can't accept it. Can't accept it, which is a sad state of affairs in society today. Sad that a man can't look at another man and say, hey, I'd like to have a part of that or whatever that is, or I'm heading that direction, that's what I'm trying to accomplish, but he's only able to do it because of this or because of that, or if not for this, if not for that. Excuses. They diminish the equalize, tear this person's accomplishments down. So to put us on a level playing field in their eyes, if they believe their own bullshit, which if they do, they're more delusional, and it's sadder even than the first glance. Diminish to equalize. Sad. Very, very sad. But contrary to what the little busters think, I've been off more than I've been on the time I've been on YouTube. The whole time I've been on. And, of course, I was natural. When I first started out, I was natural. Not really by choice, just by circumstance, just how it was. It's just how it was. I didn't know anything about gear. I didn't know what any bullshit was. How am I going to know? There's no internet. If there wasn't no internet and you grew up, how the hell are you going to know about it? There weren't that many gyms. It wasn't like every corner had a big commercial gym. In fact, when all the big commercial gyms started to really kind of take over the majority of what was out there, I didn't like that. I liked the old mom and pop independent little gyms. I liked that in little sweatshops. I liked that. I thrived in those atmospheres, Body Factory, Hard Bodies. Those are places I cut my teeth. I wouldn't have it any other way if I could go back and redo it. I would stay there longer. Some of the best training partners and the best brothers I've ever met. Guys that I sweated with, alongside of, beside of, and trained together with in these gyms. Those two gyms in particular, Brian Stoltz, number one man. Good dude, man. Awesome dude. Lifelong friend. And of course, Carl, Chip McGee. Just an awesome guy. I can't say enough about him. And we're all friends amongst ourselves as well. Yeah. And, Chip and I used to train together. We went hella heavy. I can remember us doing inclines. Chip's a little bit older than me. I can remember us doing inclines with 4 or 5. Inclines. Yeah, we're not the only people who have ever done it. Those were the good old days, man. Anyway. So, we first started out lifting. It was for the passion of it. Fell in love with the passion of it, how it felt to work out and lift the weights and, all that stuff. Not so that we were going to one day become monsters. Nobody, back in that day, there wasn't anybody to look at and say, I want to be that monster. In fact, I didn't have any interest in like Arnold, which I think Arnold's awesome now. I have ever since I've been an adult. But my first introduction into weights came through an injury I had where I tore a MCL, and through the rehab, employed weight machines and weights, and I liked what it did and how I responded. Who would have thought it? A little scrawny, sickly looking guy like me, who would have thought I could have built muscle? I didn't have any idea. And then as then I delved further into it, went to the library, Got books on nutrition, got books on weightlifting. Didn't even know what bodybuilding was, it was just weightlifting. Anyway, so I trained as an Natty for many, many years. And I'll tell you, I did the workouts out of the magazines because it's all I really had to guide me. And different books. Lou Ferrigno's book on bodybuilding was like one of the biggest learning experiences for me. I learned a ton out of that book. You know, I discovered tuna fish as a accessory to building muscle from Lou Ferrigno, you know. So I never did full body. I never did, you know, any of that kind of shit. I did the typical workouts of the time. So for me, that was overall, and this is what I would recommend because you know what? I thrived on it. The other things that were preventing me from having more success had nothing to do with the workout. The workout was absolutely, the workouts themselves were absolutely all-inclusive and successful as far as what it took and what it had to do to generate the stimulus to produce the gains. Any place I fell short, it had to do with nutrition and recuperation and hydration, things like that that I had yet to learn. And still, I still grew. Ignorant of all that, very, very loose understanding, believed a lot of things that were incorrect initially, stumbling through that, and I still made gains. And I was happy with the little gains I made because I didn't expect to make any. I was always a smaller guy. I didn't expect to make any. Today, everybody wants everything overnight. They're not happy to make small, incremental progress. Which again, doesn't make sense to me, but it's a different time period. Progress is progress. Small steps to the moon. So I would recommend that the differences between training as a natural and anybody else training is your ability to recover. And that goes for anybody under any set of circumstances. No one can exceed their ability to recover. If you do that, you're not going to make progress, or you're going to greatly hamper your progress. You don't want to out-train your ability to recover. You don't want to out-train your ability to eat, or to rest, or to hydrate. Other than that, you can do what the hell you want to do. I suggest that you work every body part once a week as a natural. There are going to be guys that are come on here and say, that's too infrequent for a natural and this and that. Bullshit. Bullshit. The other guys that if I said train every body part twice a week, they're going to say that's too frequent for a natural, you can't recover. I tell you what, if everything was ideal, if you were on top of your game with everything else, and don't think you are, you're not. But if you were, you could train twice a week as a natural and make progress.